Mix 93.8 FM.
Build Aid on Mix 93.8 FM. Good evening. My guests are Dion Paharelli and Cameron Manners. Firstly, thanks for coming to chat to us.
Thanks very much for having me.
Cameron was the founder and is president the right word in the States, or are you a CEO?
CEO president.
CEO president, okay, of Nuflow, an international company involved in sealing pipes or preventing pipes from leaking. And Cameron, again, thanks for coming to chat to us. Just a little bit of background about the company.
Well, Nuflow was started around the year 2000, and it was started because one of the problems that was associated with smaller pipes and plumbing was that there was really nothing out there other than, digging and ripping and replacing and chopping buildings up. I recognize the fact that a lot of plumbers needed a technology that could actually, non-invasively repair pipes inside buildings. So we developed a system on the drain side. So this was a non-pressure system, and it's a small diameter. It handles maybe from 25 millimeter pipe up to 150, and that need is associated with the size of the piping that's inside the homes. So that's what we did, and we developed a very unique system and patented it. Worldwide patents on it, and Nuflow was then born in a garage in Bowmanville, Ontario, with a sewing machine, and we started licensing and distributing the product to small companies, getting them started with the cured-in-place pipelining.
Is this based on manufacturing a commodity or a manufacturing process? What did you start in the garage?
Well, the only way that I could start, had no money. And, my wife was a nurse, so it gave us the ability to be able to, for me to play, more or less, starting a business. And so with the sewing machine, I sewed felt sleeves. And the felt sleeves are the carrier for the epoxies to get it into the pipe. So essentially, if you think on a larger scale, it's angioplasty for pipes.
Okay. We're going to get into chatting about how the system actually works a little bit later in the show. But it's wonderful having a founder of a company, particularly one that started in a garage, into now a multinational. It's a bit of fun chatting. But Dion, a little bit about the South African operation. You're going to be running Nuflow in South Africa for sub-Saharan Africa.
Yes.
How did you get into it? Why did you get into it?
Graham, I've been in the plumbing industry since 1988, and after many years in plumbing, I got frustrated with the inability to be able to perform on the levels that the medical people can perform at, and I'm always looking for solutions. So I got into the leak detection and diagnostic business, and we've been doing all sorts of diagnostic utility location on South African pipes for over 10 years now, and I realized I could locate the pipes with radar. I can locate the pipes with electromagnetic pulses. I can locate plastic, metal. I can see inside the pipes. I can do a CCTV recording. I can give a client a full report on it, but I was incapable of doing non-invasive, non-destructive repairs. And so I was just tired of digging open all the time, and my bicep got separated from my two bones on my forearm, and the surgeon was able to do keyhole surgery and reattach it. And I was just looking for the same solution in the plumbing, and for years and years and years I've been trying to get this out of them, and a good thing happened is we were able to land it in South Africa. We got the financing, and a lot of stuff all came together at the right time. It was being at the right time, the right place, and just being able to go the next step from not only being able to diagnose the problem, but find the solution without having to rip up entire buildings, especially pipes that are encased in concrete, and ripping up tar and paving and that sort of stuff.
Cameron, Nuflow is, if I could refer to it as a system, because you're manufacturing a product that you're going to put into the pipes, but you've also got to perform the function of putting it in there. So it's a two-part process.
Exactly. we manufacture every product that we have. So we have a plant in Canada with about 30 employees where we mix the epoxies, we brew our own epoxies, and we also manufacture the felt tubes of all different sizes. So we manufacture the product, but we license it out, but we also have to train all those licensees, and they have to be trained to our standards to be able to install our product. We also have 8 offices of our own to where we employ about 200 employees, which actually install the product ourselves. So the key for us is, we want to make sure that we're always pushing that envelope of application so that we can make sure we're supporting all of our licensees worldwide with help on installations on some big projects.
Something the boys will enjoy is that you've applied this system on naval vessels, aircraft carriers, and so on. What was their need?
On an aircraft system, so the aircraft system is made up of a couple different piping systems, and one of those piping systems is a CHT system. And because there's an abundance of water when you're on a ship all around you, it just happens that it's salt water, so it's very corrosive. So on all the piping systems, the toilets will flush with salt water. Any of the process piping will be, or cooling will be salt water, and salt water eats through pipes. So they needed to protect the pipes, and so the Naval Research Laboratory came up with this ability to be able to do that with epoxies. So with the aircraft carriers, we shoot every brand new aircraft carrier that comes out. So the last one we did was the Bush aircraft carrier, which I think is one of the largest in the world.
Working on these large ships, do you stay on board, or are they in harbour? How does it work? I guess it takes some time.
Yeah, usually it's at certain stages of manufacture. So we'll go in on the early stages when it's just a frame. Then they'll build around some of the piping, and then we'll go in late stages. Being a Canadian and working on the United States' newest aircraft carriers, myself, although I wanted to be involved with it, I wasn't allowed to be involved with it. So it was really just our crews that actually got to go on it. And as they cycle through, we have redone a few as well. So it's pretty exciting. And we do other types of ships as well. We do a lot of tankers and things like that. But the most exciting things are obviously the aircraft carriers.
Is your system used both as a preventative system and as a cure or a fix?
Yeah, starting a business and being involved with it from the get-go, one of the things that people run into is you have to establish your market when it doesn't exist. So you have to convince people. Most businesses in a service side always start as a reaction business. So people call you when you have a big problem. But as we've grown and as the technology has become more acceptable that's out there, what we do is we've now moved our business and our market into more of a preventative maintenance, to where buildings will call us to prevent corrosion now. So it's kind of nice to see it mature out like that.
And corrosion obviously implies that it's mainly in metal pipes. Does your product work in other materials?
Yeah, it does. With metal pipe, obviously corrosion is the biggest problem because metal and water just don't get along and never have. But we do clay pipes, we do cement pipes, just about any type of piping material, PVC piping, plastic piping, anything that's out there really.
And I'm pleased you guys brought some samples into the studio. So I'm going to try and explain what this inner lining, if I could refer to it as that, looks like. But I'm going to come back and chat to you a little bit more about how it's done, the actual application. But we're going to listen to some music. You're listening to Build Aid on Mix 93.8 FM. Good evening.